Welcome everyone to the L7C podcast. Today we do have a very special episode. We have, for the first time doing a collaboration together, the pop culture expert of the L7C, Chelsea Heppert, and one of the OGs, one of the founders, the anime expert of the L7C, Cedric Ware, here today. How you guys doing today?
Fantastic. As you're recording us on multiple different devices.
Just wait till I have money.
This is for you?
Wow. Oh, I'm good. I'm just in awe of how many recording devices there are.
Just wait. But, so Chelsea, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about music, but specifically we're coming up on the summer season, and we all know that summer can't be summer without a good playlist or a few hit songs. So yeah.
That's awesome. So, you guys both different people. What type of music do you guys like to listen to?
I traditionally listen to a lot more rap and R&B, but I don't have any specific, no, I will never listen to other genres of music type of vibes. Honestly, especially with summer coming down, windows rolled down, something that can be publicly accepted as well.
Yeah, if a questionable song comes on, you immediately turn it down, roll the windows up, sink low in your seat. I feel like college me definitely listened to a lot of hip-hop R&B music, but I've recently, over the last few years, primarily listened to EDM music.
Ooh.
For the listeners, what is EDM music?
Electronic dance music.
Duh. And it's become pretty much all I've listened to. And I used to make fun of one of my friends because that's all she would listen to and be like, wow, you like the beat boops? And now I sit in my car going,
oh
boy. So that's a little bit about me.
Did not know you liked EDM now. I enjoy EDM. It's one of the few musics that I can actually listen to while at the gym.
Oh, yeah.
Because every other time I try to listen to hip-hop or rock and roll, I end up focused on singing along with the songs rather than actually working out. And I just love instrumentals going. It is amazing.
Oh, same. And then at work, that's all I listen to, or I listen to audiobooks. So sometimes I'll just be typing away, just head banging, listening to things. And my boss will walk up and be like, you need help. But he also listens to more poppy EDM type music. He's just not into the hardcore stuff, I guess.
Okay.
You could say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the first EDM that got you into liking the genre? What was the first one?
What was that song? There was a song in college that was really popular, and it's gonna blank. I'll have to find it. Let me do some digging. But it played in every single club.
Oh, in the clubs. Wow.
In the clubs.
Okay. Cedric, were there any EDM ones that you're just I like this stuff?
Yeah, there was Skrillex and Justin Bieber.
Yes.
Because it would have been 2015 summer.
Mm-hmm.
I went up to Ohio Wesleyan University, and was helping out people at the Alpha Sig house there, move. Mm-hmm. And someone was playing that song, and I literally was I don't know what this is. I've never heard this before, but I really, really like it. And then, of course, I think it's Adventure Class.
Mm.
Someone on Facebook would talk about EDM, EDM stuff, listen to Adventure Class, and I was on that time I had Apple Music, so I was just searching EDM playlists, Adventure Class, radio, and then that song came out, and I started just listening to that. Benny Benassi, another. When he came to Columbus, I believe the bar that used to be Garage Bar, I forget what it turned into after college, but he had a show there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean that's kind of what got me into it. It works very well when you take pre-workout and listen to that stuff because it's just constant go. So I enjoy it a lot.
It was Animals by Martin Garrix.
Ooh, Martin Garrix is amazing.
I know that one.
Yeah. And then obviously Avicii from a few years ago. I think high school time, college time, give or take. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Martin, David Guetta was
I know.
was
I know.
out here
Yeah.
booming.
He was
Like,
he's
been
going.
here forever.
He was going. He was on a little.
Yeah,
streak
Calvin,
there.
some Calvin Harris.
Calvin Harris was going too. He was going. Those are classic names. So you said summer playlist. So for people, what's different between your summer playlist and let's say like your winter, fall, spring playlist?
I feel like a summer playlist is a lot looser and sluttier than your
Yeah.
normal playlist.
Yeah.
Like, during the fall, I want to listen to sad music, I want to cozy up, and I want to be chill. But, like, during the summer, you're driving, windows are down, you're singing, like, and you know you're going out to a happy hour or a bar until God knows when, and you're just going to have a good time.
Absolutely.
Like, those are the vibes.
That is absolutely it. Like fall, we're getting really close to Christmas, right? Like in fall, winter playlist, like most winter playlists always include someone's Christmas album of some nature and some beast. But fall, I mean, the most hype you may get is for people who go like tailgating for sports.
Right.
But like summer, because you go on vacations, you go on road trips, you go to the bar, you go happy hour, you go wherever, like I feel like more people listen traditionally to music during the summer. There's a ton of festivals that happen in the summer.
Festival season.
So currently, like right now, who's on your summer playlist? Like, who are you going to be listening to?
Well, it's weird because I feel like every single artist recently, like big name Taylor Swift, Ari, and a few others, the albums that they've put out don't fit the summer vibe. Like, at all.
No.
Like, even Taylor's new album, and I still haven't made a final decision on it. A lot of the songs are really, really great by themselves, but not as an album of, like, a whole.
Interesting.
Yes. But, like, that is a fall album. That's a fall moody album. It's not what I want to listen to in the summer. So, my playlist is kind of empty right now.
Oh.
I'm not going to lie. Like...
Cedric, how about yourself?
Oh, I mean, a lot of artists like Drake, I know Future dropped an album with Metro Booming. I will say We Don't Trust You, the initial one that they dropped, isn't bad. I don't think... There's a couple songs on that I would listen to during the summer, but the album as a whole, probably not. Like, We Still Don't Trust You, it's good, like, vibe house music almost. Since,
Yeah.
like, you have, like, The Weeknd on there, you have a couple J. Cole songs that he's on there. And so, I don't know, like, it's, from hip-hop, I have yet to see, like, a summer release. I know Eminem's supposed to drop an album in the summertime at some point in time. I know people will probably be bumping that as well once it's released.
So, each summer, do you make your playlist based on what's coming out that congruent year? Like, we're talking about the albums this year. Like, is it going to be based on 2024? Or do you use some, like, classic songs that you're like, oh, this song always gets me every summer. I'm going to keep that on my playlist. Like, how do you guys update your playlist?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like the nice thing with... Because I'm a Spotify user, I'm not an Apple Music user. I like the
Ditto.
year end where I can like look back on all the music that I've listened to. But I also like having a summer playlist that is new stuff and old stuff. Because I feel like the last few years, my year end is always super different. And it doesn't give an actual show of what I like during the summer or fall or whatever. It's literally whatever I had on repeat during a work day for 8 hours.
Same. I mean, I love Spotify for the different variety. That's the reason I end up changing to Spotify over Apple Music, just because of the variety in playlist. Like, you go, even if you have like just a specific artist, you go to their, like, search their radio, and then you can find other artists to branch out into that are very similar. I'm sad to say my end of year always is Drake and some other stuff, but that's compiled on, because I found out like the on repeat thing, like that's a playlist.
Extra.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't know, I have songs on my on repeat that are like very multiple different genres.
Yeah.
But normally, like, driving to work, at work, those are the songs I end up listening to because they're on repeat. So
Right.
that's what ends up being in my end of year compilement. But
So Jersey Drake's always on
somewhere.
Somewhere.
I was like, somewhere, like, and it's not for fault of trying to listen to something else. Like, he ends up there. Like,
Yeah.
I remember this year, I was like, oh, yeah, I know I didn't listen to as much Drake as I did 2 years ago when he's like the number one artist. And I saw like the results like Drake. I'm like, what? Like, I listened to more J. Cole this year than I did Drake.
Mm-hmm.
And I was reliving J. Cole albums.
Yeah. I feel like Taylor is always on mine, and then Lana Del Rey pops up every other year for me. Like, those are my top two consistent ones.
No Ari, no Britney Spears.
No, honestly. Like, Ari hasn't been up there since Break Up With Your Girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, that era.
Some crazy times.
Wild.
And then she lived it in real life. That's a whole different story for another day.
That's her girl, so.
I'm gonna leave that alone. So how many different summer playlists? How many different playlists do you have for stuff? I know you already talked about gym, so I know there's a gym playlist. Yeah. You got summer. You guys talked about fall and winter.
So I keep all of my your top songs. So I have it going back to 2016, actually. But I have, like, a mix. Like, I've got a Gilmore Girls themed playlist. I've got a chill playlist for drinking coffee. I have one called Crying in the Club. So that's really great.
Huh.
Well,
you know, like, when you want to dance but you're sad? Like, it's a good...
The names of these playlists is also another thing that's just like...
That is funny.
Oh, Grinding in a Sweaty High School Cafeteria. That's a good playlist. I did not create that, but it's top tier. Just a few really...
That must be a gutter playlist. Grinding, that's
it's great. Another playlist, I also did not create it, but it's really good. Accidentally Home Wrecked Once, and Now You Can't Stop. It's based...
We're trying to stay away from Ariana. Circles back.
But Ari's on that playlist.
I bet she is.
Along with The Weeknd and Rihanna. A lot of Lana Del Rey. Like, it's a solid playlist.
I mean...
like, you know?
Yeah. I keep Beast Mode, because Beast Mode actually is a mixture of, like, a lot of EDM and rap.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love that playlist. I have my Your Top Songs back to 2020.
Is that when you switched over? Or, like, joined Spotify?
No, that was when I, like, actually started, like, keeping your top 20s, like your top songs. Like, normally, someone to report, I'm like, oh, cool, like, the trend, I should share this on social media so people know I have either decent or some relevant music taste.
Yes.
And then I would never keep the actual, like, playlist.
Yeah.
And then eventually I was like, oh, wait, I can keep the playlist? Let me just add the playlist.
Mm-hmm.
But I also have, like, a rock and roll playlist, a country playlist, an R&B playlist, just a stringing hip-hop versus, like, pop type of playlist. I keep a Drake playlist. I have a Jay-Z playlist. I have a J. Cole playlist. In Old CD is a playlist of songs that I used to make a lot of mixed CDs. And so those are all...
We still got some of these bad boys in the house.
And so I have a bunch of them in my car, so I put songs on there that I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this song on that old mixed CD I made.
Yeah.
And so I'm like trying to compile that.
Don't want to sound old, but man, kids got it real easy now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you can just go on you pay the Spotify or Apple Music and you get the songs. But like, just talk about the mixed CD days. You usually have like one or two friends who knew how to do it, and then they're the ones like, "Hey, can you make me a mixtape?" Like these are the people who go, "Oh yeah, I got you." Then they write in the black Sharpie, I mean, that's classic times, man. But,
and you use LimeWire to download all of that.
Oh yeah,
and you were so afraid of going to jail.
That's the greatest program I think that's ever been created.
Oh yeah,
I truly believe that.
Never afraid to go to jail, just afraid I was going to get so many viruses on that computer that it's never going to work.
Oh yeah, one time we did. I had to lie.
Oh no lie, absolutely. I had LimeWire, got a bunch of viruses. I blame it on my nieces. I'm like, oh, they're out there going Googling Pogo games online, Ma. That's why your computer's slow. It's like, okay, took it off. Then I downloaded FrostWire when it got hit to LimeWire. It did the same thing. I was like, I don't know, Ma. They're back on the computer again. That has to be them.
It was a fact, too, like on LimeWire, you could download a whole album in two different ways. You can get, like, the individual songs, or you can just get, like, the album, and it just goes automatically. And yeah, that was one of the greatest things that have ever been created. Like, because, like, Chelsea's right. You have that one thing, like, hopefully we don't get caught. That one person who scares the whole group. Like,
oh, and I was terrified. But also, my first reaction in anything is I'm going to jail. I got into it. Like,
I should probably work on that.
I should work on that. But like my first car accident when I was 18, my first thought was I'm going to jail. It was a fender bender. It was not that serious.
Do you remember the last album you downloaded from LimeWire?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
so.
Do you still listen to that album to this day?
Yeah.
I listened to songs from it, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it still holds up. It was the Good Girl Gone Bad Rihanna album.
Does mixtapes count? Because that's what I was doing a lot of until I discovered Dat Piff.
Oh yeah, Dat Piff.
In college.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was like searching, I used to search for like a lot of different mixtapes. So like Lil Wayne's mixtapes, No Ceilings. Like before it became an album, I was out here downloading No Ceilings Volume 1, No Ceilings Volume 2.
I think that's what introduced me to mixtapes because I forgot whose song it was, but then like someone like Lil Wayne, I was like, Lil Wayne didn't make Run This Town.
Nope.
Then I listened to it, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, is this, at first I'm like, okay, is this a remix? Because you know that from 08 to 010, he was the guy in music.
Yeah.
Like he was on every feature. I was like, oh, is this a remix? And then one of my friends was like, oh no, it's a mixtape. I was like, it's a mixtape. And then they're like, all right, let me catch you up. And like, that's when someone takes the beat of whatever. And I'm like, oh, I really like this. So then I start looking at anyone who has mixtapes. I'm like, I listen to Trey Songz' ones back in the day.
My God.
Like he used to go. And I was just like, what happened to this guy in the late 2020s? But anyone, like, I'm just like, wow. Or just like, oh, did they make a remix of this song? And so I was like, oh no, that's just someone on LimeWire mixing two people. And I'm like,
mixing a verse from an actual song to just the beat of another song.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, this sounds really great.
Yeah.
Time to download it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you try to act like the cool kids was like, hey, did you hear that remix? And they're like, no, that one's fake. I was like, okay.
I remember J. Cole's mixtapes that would drop. Even Drake had mixtapes that would drop. Meek Mill's Dream Chasers, to all the people who don't know, Dream Chasers were all mixtapes before he dropped them as albums.
Yeah, someone did. People don't know that.
Oh my gosh.
Cardi start her stuff. Nicki. Like,
Yep.
it's crazy, man. It's crazy thinking about mixtapes in the middle high school days. And like you brought up that Piff, and now it's just like, you can just download it wherever. Just so easy now.
You got the hunt for music.
You really did.
Because sometimes you go online where it may be the song. Because like you type in the person's name, a whole
that
whole list of stuff, like,
And you take the gamble.
Yep, and when you listen to the one, it's like, this isn't even the song. Like, what the heck, man? Like,
every time I downloaded a song and it was the wrong song, it always lets you, never gonna give you up. No. And I'm like, this is not Lil Wayne. Like, I was kind of, and then I'm like, well, pick the wrong gamble there. But man, it's, how big is music in your guys' like lives, like just in general?
I mean, I think
we didn't even bring up
huge.
if you had any like study playlists, like when we were in school.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 100%. I feel like I listen to music all the time. Like I have memories of being a little kid and getting my first Britney Spears CD. Like I just listened to music whenever I was happy or sad or whatever. Like that's all I did. Yeah.
same. Not the Britney Spears CD. I didn't get that as
I'm
a
trying to
kid.
think which one was my first real
It was-
official.
I mean,
Yeah.
my first CD, my mom took from me because it was 50 Cent G Unit, Beg for Mercy. My brother got it for me as like a gift, an album. I was like, no. He's not old enough to listen to this yet.
That happened to me
Oh,
at
my goodness.
Myers with, man, we're gonna drop some people. That happened with me and Murphy Lee and the same Because I was in love with What the Hook Gonna Be, that song. I was madly in love with the song. I was like, oh, I want to go buy it. And my Aunt Sally was in town. She was like, oh, we can go. And then went there, about to check out. And she's like, what's that black sticker? I was like, nothing.
Don't worry about that.
And then the cash out net was like, oh, that's parental advisor. She's like, what does that mean? She's like, that means,
There's some cursing in
older.
there.
Yeah, there's cursing. She's like, what type of cursing? And the president like, they got a lot of words. And then she was just like, oh, well, we can't have this. And I was like, okay. So then I was like, at that time too, trying to get the Bad Boys 2 soundtrack, which they
my God.
It had the black sticker too.
I remember that time. So that album I did get because it's a movie. And my parents did not listen to the soundtrack. Because Missy Elliott has a cut on there too that is awesome.
Yeah.
That black sticker was killing me every time. I was just like, all right, well.
I feel like my mom didn't care about that. But we were also the same. She would play Enya and like the Phantom of the Opera. That's what we grew up on. But then we would blast My Humps by the Black Eyed Peas and know every single word. And she would be singing along with us. And there were no thoughts going through her eyes of how inappropriate that song was.
That sticker,
like,
sticker in the bottom right corner every
care.
time.
My parents were products of like the 60s and 70s music and the things that they were saying. My parents like the Isley Brothers. Between the Sheets, they're in the car singing that, going to a bowling thing, but I can't listen to 50 Cent. I can't listen to Ludacris.
So my parents, obviously, because my parents they're from...
It is!
They're from Cameroon, so obviously when they came here and like was listening to like American music and whatnot, and they had like their Cameroonian music, and it's great, dance music and all that stuff. And then I remember the first time I saw a music video from Cameroon, and I'll never forget because it's one of my favorite Cameroonian songs, and it's Miss Lolo. And I'm watching that music video, and I'm like, so how come this is allowed being played, but I can't get Bad Boys too? Because this song is literally about girls and their big breasts. Like, what are we doing here? And then they're like, it's a different thing. And then they were so strict with my music, but my mom was like, when your dad was in the States, studying, doing his PhD and stuff, his favorite artist was Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. And I was just like, and I was just like, are we talking about the same dad? Because...
You talk about Dr. Ray.
I was like,
oh my God.
I don't believe. I'm just like, all right.
That's a lie.
But my mom did collect them. But you talk about my parents, big on Boyz II Men. I think that was the first like real album I've ever listened to. Like they had that. They obviously had the Michael Jackson stuff and all of that. But yeah, apparently Snoop Dogg was in the house back in the day. So.
Yeah,
Juice.
The stylistics. My dad was the one who put me on to burning stuff. My dad was burning cassette tapes.
Oh, wow.
We have some cassette tapes in the house still there.
And if you don't know how to burn a cassette tape, it is actually extremely difficult. Because you need two cassette players, one with the actual songs to the other songs to repeat. My dad used to burn songs off the radio.
Oof.
Oh, wow.
Oof.
And he told me straight up one time I was in my room. This is when we had a computer. I'm talking like I'm in high school and I offered my man, I was like, I can burn you a disc. Like, I get on there and find it's just like no. They can't do it like this. And I'm like, okay. It's like he one of the stylistics of the Temptations, the OJs. And he's literally listening to me, he's like, don't say anything because I got the tape recording back there. And if I hear your voice on that, I'm gonna beat your ass.
Man, that was pressure too. Like you're talking about burning a CD before a road trip. Like a long, because you're just intense. Like, oh, we're gonna be in like this long road trip. I need to have the right music because it'll get rough back then, but man.
But what was more intense was when you finally got your first cell phone and you needed to pick out a ringtone. So you would sit by the radio and like record at the perfect time and make sure that you got quality music.
Another one was it MySpace?
That
you could have a playlist on your MySpace.
And then people would judge you on your playlist or your top 8, because then people are like, why am I not in your top 8? It's like, buddy, we ain't friends like that.
Yeah, but one follow, like, you see it at number 2, it's like, you know what it is. Like, you went from 1 to 2, you know what happened.
Exactly!
Yeah. Or if you were beefing with somebody, you just change that song too, and they know.
Oh, yeah.
They know.
Move the one song from the bottom up to the top. It's like, yes, this is the first song you're going to listen to when you look at my page. You may not be there for a long time, but you're going to hear this one.
Yeah.
Chelsea, you brought up the ringtone thing, and it made me think of, like, music really, like, in the mid-2000s. For me, that's my favorite time because like I was big on 106 and Park.
Yes.
I was big on the MTV like Sunday countdowns, like after church and all that stuff. It was like I loved those shows because that's how I found out then what the new music was. Because artists would come on those shows. TRL, like they'd come on there, be like, all right, this is our new song, and I'm like, oh, I like this song, and then like watch the music video and all that stuff. Now to watch music videos, you have to go on their YouTube account and it pops up there and it's like it's not the same.
It's not. And I feel like music videos have turned into brand deals. Like it's no longer about the music or the creativity. Like very rarely do you see an artist without any deal or something mentioned. So I feel like that's ruined it for me a little bit. I don't know.
Cedric, what were your thoughts on back there the music video?
I mean, back then it was amazing. Like you go on, I remember checking every day, top 10.
Yeah.
What's the top 10 countdown? Like, what's number 1?
Eating your breakfast and watching them. Yeah.
Getting hot when your song gets dethroned. And
yes.
Shoot, I remember, what was it? Oh, why am I blanking on the song? It's Missy Elliott, Sierra, and Fat Man Scoop. I remember when that song was a top 10 for like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere on there, because it has like a little cut to like another Missy Elliott song. And I'm like, now this is just for promotion, because ain't nobody looking for this Missy Elliott song. One was like, it's in the desert, she's coming out of like the trash can thing, and the people are dancing in that on like the irrigation water pipe stuff. I'm like, no one's looking for this song.
I remember those times. I remember when Bow Wow was on a tear because he had the Let's Get Down when he was getting his license. He had him and Sierra Like You, and then Sierra was on a mega tear with her music videos too. And I'm just sitting here like, oh my god, these people are like, they're going. Then Jay-Z had his, was it the blue? Which one was it? Where all his music videos? Which one was 99 Problems on? Which album was
Blueprint?
that on? Is that Blueprint?
I think that's the Black Print.
But that, like, he had a 99 Problems music video. I remember Dangerously in Love, Beyonce, and like all that stuff. Crazy in Love.
Beyonce's albums.
The Black Album.
That's what it
is.
Like those music videos, man. I mean, and all the stuff. Like even because me and Chelsea were just talking about them. NSYNC's music videos. It's gonna be Me, Bye Bye Bye. I Want It That Way with the Backstreet Boys, Christina, Britney. Like music videos is how you got your stuff out here. Now it's just like, oh, here's my. Check out my Twitter thing or my TikTok. So, but I don't know, man. It's just not the same.
Or like we've moved in, because you mentioned Beyonce, visual albums.
Yeah.
Which are epic. And I love when artists just drop it all at once. But I feel like because of TikTok, a lot of artists are kind of being held by their labels to release music until they get a certain amount of likes or views on whatever promo item that they're doing. So then in turn, it ruins the song because people are so fed up that they had to wait a certain amount of weeks and they're just like, okay, the song's not even worth it anymore.
It's crazy. And then, like, getting older, I didn't know how much drama was behind the scenes with, like, your masters in music and, like, owning your stuff. I think the first person where it really became in my eyes was Swift, dealing with her stuff with Scooter and all that. I was like, oh, I didn't know. I didn't understand how the musicians did not own their own music, but
I mean that also goes back to JoJo and
she was
Kesha.
JoJo was up there, man.
Yeah.
Kesha's a good point too. Like she was
like they were literally held hostage by their labels and not allowed to make new music because of ongoing stuff, and that ruined their careers for a while. They both have since made music and have come back from it, but once you lose that momentum, it's kind of hard to get it back, you know?
I used to also watch the awards for like, oh, someone's going to debut a new song. I'm like,
yes.
Gotta do it. Gotta watch. Gotta know what the new song is because that's going to get talked about at school. Like, hey, did you hear the new song? What do you think? Like, when's that album coming out? It's like, now I can't even watch it. I don't even.
Or even like live performances. Like
yeah.
Did you have like Chris Brown doing like Michael Jackson songs?
He was
dancing on the tables, and everyone's like, "Did you see Chris Brown sing and dance with Michael Jackson?" Like
he was another one too. Like when music videos were popping, because I remember Run It and Give Me That and like
Kiss
Kiss,
yeah, all of those.
That's Teddy Payne, man.
Teddy Payne was
another person like Lil Wayne who was like in every single song.
He was
like insane.
He was gone, man. Like, Buy You a Drink was you brought up songs, that's a generational one, too.
Yeah.
Buy You a Drink, that's a...
Yeah.
God, man, that's crazy, man. 50 Cents in the club.
Mm-hmm.
That one right there, just...
What is it, Candy Shop?
Yeah. That was one of my favorite songs. Probably still is. And that music video was gas. Like, that was crazy. Then I, like, Hated or Love It music video and that song. That was top. Like, also, those music videos, you got to see, like, the new artists. You're like, oh, who's this person with 50 Cent? Who's the game? Oh, I like this song. Time to get their first album. Now it's just like, I don't know. It's just...
You mentioned 50 Cent and music artist Tony
Yayo. Lloyd, I like Lloyd. I got his album, Lloyd Banks.
Hey, Lloyd Banks.
He used to go.
Beamer, Benz, or Bentley.
Yeah, so...
Oh, wow.
But
forgot about that one.
Yep.
Like, all those people, man, other people, too, like David Banner and, like, all those people, like Bone Crusher, like...
Oh, man.
Because I remember, I think the first one I saw him was with Never Scared, and then, like, T.I. and all of them, and, like...
T.I.
All those people,
man.
I mean, he was, you know, but... Now it's just like, if it's not my brother telling me who the new people are, I have no idea. Like, I just don't know musicians like I used to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because there's, like, a new little rap person every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who are these people?
They have a little good moment of shine. I mean, there's some people that keep it, some people fall off, like Roddy Ricch. if you're out there, what the hell are you doing now? Like,
well, you made me think of Rich Homie Quan.
Oh my gosh, Rich!
He had a little snit in the flame, and then it just
sizzled.
And then it sizzled. But then you want to talk about tears? I mean, young Draco, Soldier Boy had the tear of. He had the tear of tears. He was.
Speaking of, man, I heard a song by Glorilla that was ripping the beat from Pretty Boy Swag. I was like listening to it, I was like, this beat sounds very familiar. I was like, I'm not listening to a damn word she's saying. And I looked up the song, like, that is Pretty Boy Swag. Like, dear God, like, that's one thing, like, I love sampling in music, but it kind of has gotten out of hand.
Yeah.
When we're like, ripping, people's like, it hasn't even really been that long, you just stealing their stuff, and you, just to get the listens, like, oh God. It's become too much.
Do you feel like, because I've heard a lot of like Snoop Dogg, all these other people say like music is just, everyone just does the same flow, same thing. Do you agree with them to an extent?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I could tell if Drake is rapping versus like a T.I. or like a Wayne, but now there's like some people, they all have like the same.
It's the same formula.
Mm-hmm.
There's no difference in voices. There's no, like, nothing that stands out. Like, no little spark.
Since we're talking about music videos, gotta shout out Mr. Raymond, Mr. Confessions Part 2, Usher, because his music video, he was going to, in all those music videos, get all of them. So, it used to be an art, man. It really was.
I can't think of the artist. Because, I mean, Soulja Boy's been on record about Drake stealing his flow.
Oh, yeah.
Like, but there's another person that came out, like, literally, like, I want to say a month or two ago, saying essentially the same thing, but they're, like, newer.
The newer person said Drake stole their flow?
Like, their type, like, their cadence. Like, because he's like, yeah, I sent Drake, when he's, like, coming up, he's like, I sent Drake, like, a song in with the cadence that I rap, and he's like, next thing I know, he's like, he references like a song, like one of the first songs he put out. He's like, listen to one of the first songs I got like put on, like, and then listen to the next thing you know, Drake released this song around the same time that I was like just started blowing up, and it is the same cadence, and that just, I don't know, there is a thing about like success with like tone, what you need and everything. Like, you could be successful in music. I feel like that's more common now. That, like, if I played you 5 different rappers from New Age, they sound very similar, you won't be able to tell me who it is, but be like, yeah, it's not bad. Like, it could sell. It's not bad. And so in that respect, I agree with Snoop Dogg that it is much different. It's more, I don't want to say shallow, because music's still an art form. Some people still express themselves through music. But I feel like the product, as it's initially received, feels like an initial layer of a self. Like, it's not the same. Listening to like an artist is like actually like individual, like how they grew up, what they're going through, what they're thinking, what their values are. It's not the same as it is today. At least in hip hop and rap.
Oh yeah, they rap about the same things. And no disrespect to any of these people, but I mean, like, I know it's brought up a lot, especially like female rap. I mean, Glorilla, Sexy Red, they all rap about the same shit. Like, and it's just like, all right, so who am I? Like, I couldn't tell who I'm listening to if I have that stuff on the radio. Chelsea, you're big on TikTok, and you said a lot of music is shown like on TikTok, and that's how some people find it out. Do you feel like these people, like, even, I know that when they're people, do they care about their album sales anymore? Because, like, those old school people, like a Taylor Swift and, like, them, they care about their sales because they're still selling, like, she did, what, 1 million in a week? 2 million, like, whatever?
Yeah.
So it's like...
I think if you're a new artist, you're looking at your streams and your view counts. And then from there, you're able to get a record deal or get whatever deal you can to move on to the next step. But, like, very few artists out there are doing that and doing that successfully. And honestly, like, TikTok caters to your algorithm, so the chances of you being exposed to something new is kind of slim just based on what you listen to. Like, occasionally you'll see something really cool and you're like, oh, like, that's dope. but then you have to go on like SoundCloud or something to find it.
SoundCloud, that's another.
That's
another one.
And I will say SoundCloud is better than Spotify for looking up new artists or like just seeing what's out there, especially with like EDM music and things like that, or house music mixes.
Shameless plug, the head producer of the L7C, Justin Ackino, is on SoundCloud. Check him out.
Hey, relevant.
Making beats.
But like very few artists are different, and we've got a few right now that are kind of up and coming, including Chapel Roan, who are taking the nation by storm just with how unique their sound is. But if you look at it, she's very similar to Marina and the Diamonds and a few other people who've come before her, but her vibe and her songs are so unique and unique to her. Like, she's storytelling, which I think is getting that buy-in a lot easier than just a typical 30-second soundbite, you know?
Yeah, I agree, because I'm just like, you brought it up, and I don't know which summer it was when the TikTok dances like began, and now there are people who are like, oh, that's that song on TikTok, and we're like, I'm like, okay, this song's been around for like 10 plus years, but now it just has a TikTok dance, and now it's brand new. I think the one that like really exploded for him was Jason Derulo. Like he had a song that was on there, and the TikTok dance was going, and then his shot back up, and I have that song in my head right now too. So I'm just like, yep. See, you're doing. Obviously, you guys can't see. Chelsea was doing the dance right there. So
that was the easiest and only dance that I have ever memorized.
But now it's that, and then recent Megan, the Savage. That was a. I mean, obviously because we do wrestling on this thing, a lot of WWE wrestlers were doing the Savage like the one. So. Oh man! But now, what are these new artists going to do if TikTok really does leave? Like, how are they going to get their music popular?
That is kind of a concern. Or like the more underground artists who rely on that to even get their album to consider releasing stuff. It's going to be interesting how people pivot. I mean, there will be a new app of some sorts. Like, there's no way. Like, on Instagram is Instagram. Like, it's great for looking at pictures, but it's not going to have the same success.
Right.
Facebook is really only there to look at your family. X, I don't know if people use it for like that type of content. Like, so a whole new app is going to have to be created, or something else is going to come along, you know?
Because how long is the typical TikTok?
Like a minute-ish, depending on what you're looking at.
So perfect for this generation's attention span.
Yeah.
Because they're not going on YouTube. Like, I'll go on YouTube and watch a full music video and have no...
Well, and that's why you see on a lot of other apps, like Instagram doing Reels.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
YouTube doing Shorts. Like, to cater to that mindset. And they're taking a lot of source material from TikTok.
Right.
Like, something that's originally posted on TikTok, we're going to put it on here. You can tell because of stylistics from the social media page. Like, you have the little comment stuff on the side there. It's from TikTok. But they know that people are watching that, and they want to get their viewers on the content, too.
Oh, good point. It would just be interesting to see, because some artists, that's all they know. Like, I just need to get one song, TikTok viral, get a dance to it. There was with Drake, the Kiki, Do You Love Me? Like, that had a whole song, that had a whole dance too. And I was just like...
That was actually its own thing, though.
Yeah.
Because then Drake's not shit self going to release that and then do a song that has a dance where he's like, this is how you do the dance. We're like, Drake, no, this isn't the point. Like, like no one wants you to make a dance.
I remember that, because everyone, at first we were like, oh, this song's okay. And then they had the dance and they're like, oh, this song is great. I'm like, oh, because we had the dance.
And then it turned into the song of the summer.
Yes. Everyone goes riding their cars.
I'm like, yeah, he has that effect. He'll make that one song where somehow it just...
He is one, though, that is notorious for a summer album or a summer song. Like, he is consistently summer.
He knows what time it is. He knows that's like you just said, like, you get a summer hit, that's going to carry you the whole year.
Yeah, like, you don't even have to do anything else. No. You can make millions off of that one song and then retire. Like, you're golden. Fetty Wap? He had a few hits.
Oh, man. Fetty!
You want to talk about a fall from grace.
But, like, all of his songs during his peak, those are still paying his bills.
Yeah.
Like, and those will continue to pay his bills till the day he dies. Like, that is it.
Him and his producer, I forget the dude this guy to talk about Remy Martin all the time, though. That's all I know.
Yeah.
He was on every intro and outro. The guy's like yelling for Fetty Wap. I mean, he was on one, he rapped on like one Fetty Wap song, and I was like,
because I think Fetty's locked up right now, if I remember.
I believe he is.
Yeah.
He had some like I think
Like
some
a few years
charges.
ago, he was featured on a few songs, and then he disappeared again.
Yeah, but like you said, he had his
hits.
He had the streak.
I still answer my phone like, "Hey, what's up? Hello." Sometimes if I'm in a silly, goofy mood.
Like, oh man, and then since we have got to bring him up, person who can just he puts his beats on there and rides it all, Mr. DJ Khaled, we the best.
He is notorious for making an album that is an entire playlist. Like honestly,
Yep.
Yeah.
like he produces all the songs, gets whatever artist he wants, and it's typically always in the summer. Now I don't know if he's done naming him after his son. That Assad is old enough now.
Yeah.
Assad may make his own. Who knows? Assad may make his own fucking album. Like that's all. Like
Yeah. I mean, we are in the time where the artists that we grew up with, their kids are starting to create content.
yeah.
I mean,
Who-
Blue Ivy.
Blue Ivy, yes.
She looks
North.
old. She
North,
looks,
yeah.
She looks old as shit. It's
She's an
kinda
adult.
crazy. Yeah.
She's not an adult, but like she's grown.
She's old.
Like
I forget who's. Oh man,
I know I'm saying Assad all the time.
I'm thinking like Alicia Keys, and I don't know why I'm blanking on his
Swiss
name.
Beats.
Swiss Beats.
Yeah.
Swiss Beats' son. He had the shout out from like Kendrick. He made a beat for one of Kendrick's albums that came out during some like Untitled.
I mean, Bob Marley's grandson.
Yep.
Like,
Oh my
Trying
gosh.
to come up.
yeah, it's wild.
Because I mean, a new wave has to come in now, depending on.
And you know, Rihanna's kids are going to be talented as heck one day.
Will they even want to do music though? Like she don't even want to do music sometimes.
If she doesn't release an album, I'm going to
Listen,
cry.
man, someone's being Jodie Flocko live on. Okay, that's happening.
Rihanna doesn't even need it. I don't know. Again, I say it all the time. She don't need it. She's a billionaire in other stuff.
But I need it.
I know the fans all want it, but like,
Hey, it's gonna. I mean, that avenue is always there.
oh, absolutely.
Like, it'll always be there.
I mean, like, she can drop it without saying anything, and it'll be an instant
Those
hit.
are those are
like,
wild.
look at Willow. Willow made a
Yeah.
song with her mom's old band.
yeah,
Literally,
yeah.
that was it. Made that song. It's like, okay, well, back into this, like, living my life, do whatever I want.
That's a good one. Nah, it's crazy with like the generational stuff and like seeing every like different generations music that they liked and complain about the next gen and all of that. So I just don't know what's gonna come the next 10 years from now.
Bangers.
I honestly feel like they're gonna it's gonna be more AI like virtual, because that's another thing too. Now sometimes like people are like, oh yeah, this AI.
I mean, that was a thing 6 months ago.
Yeah.
For sure, people were talking about releasing, like, I know you guys heard, like, the different songs of someone rapping or someone singing,
Mm-hmm.
like Beyonce singing someone else's song
Yeah.
on someone else's beat.
Mm-hmm.
It is, I mean, it got views. Like,
And
it got
was
views.
Good.
Yes.
Like, that's the thing, though. It sounds pretty damn close to the original artist.
Then it's like, yeah, that wasn't me. Time to sue.
Well,
Yeah.
of course, I mean, that's what happened.
Absolutely.
Look, but this is the thing, like, some time passes, it's gonna happen. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like Napster. When Napster first came, Napster was the original LimeWire.
Yeah.
Like, when it first came out, releasing music, selling music for free online database, he got sued out his ass.
Napster. That's a classic.
And then people thought, like, oh yeah, there's no way they're ever gonna let that happen. LimeWire. Like,
You just move on to the next thing. Like, this cycle isn't going to end.
Yeah.
It's just going to get more advanced.
So, if you could make a summer playlist going back before we close of 5 artists, who would it be?
Oh. Oh.
how many songs you giving us? If we
I
don't
know,
have
you
five
can
five
just pick.
artists?
It's just 5 artists, and you can take as many songs as you want.
Oh,
from the
okay. I was
5.
about to say, like, dang, man, you can't make a playlist off of 5 songs. Like,
no, just artists, just those 5. And
oh
that's it.
my gosh.
Oh, I don't like this. That's a lot of pressure.
That's what we do here.
Do I get their whole discography?
It's just those
Everything,
5.
like any singles, anything, like features count too. I get their stuff. Okay. Oh.
This is the hardest I've had to think all week.
Oh boy.
I think I have my 5.
Okay.
The 5th spot is very
Debatable.
well. It's so I'm going to say Drake, Lil Wayne, T-Pain,
Okay.
just because I get all the features, just all the features. I'm not limited that way. And David Guetta, because I want the classic hits of all of his feature and work. And I want to say Calvin Harris or Martin Garrix, just because they work with a lot of individuals. Some, like, I want to say Calvin Harris because he's worked with, like, Rihanna, other popular artists. And I want Martin Garrix because, like, Alesso. Like, other, like, lower, like, not necessarily lower, but, like, not as, like, popularized artists also on his beat. And just the things he can do with instrumentals is amazing.
No, I like it.
Because I had to pass on DJ Khaled just because he doesn't make his own music. Like,
Chelsea, you still thinking Chelsea?
I've got. Oh, okay. Grizz, who is one of my favorite EDM artists. If you have not listened to him, you should.
okay.
Lady Gaga. She's had so many hits, but specifically the Chromatica era. Obsessed. Rihanna. Grizz, Lady Gaga, Rihanna. I don't want to say Taylor because her songs aren't summer
They're not
hits.
the summer thing.
They're
like
not
you
the
said
summer hits.
At the beginning, like you said, what's the summer playlist
I
for?
know. Like, this is awful. I will say Lana Del Rey. Even though she's moody and gloomy, there's something, like, sultry about it all, so it makes you feel like it's summer. So what is that for? So I need a 5th one. I feel like I need, like, a hip-hop artist in there, because I did listen to a lot of hip-hop, and it is a summer vibe. The Weeknd. For the features. And for the producing. I would say we have to go into the producing, because he has a very heavy hand in it.
Man,
Weekends.
I didn't even think about the producing.
Because I was thinking
Oh
about
my
the
God.
question.
Like,
was asked.
think, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So,
I would say, yeah, The Weeknd. I'll add him on it.
So me, obviously, I had Wayne, then Drake, and then even though for the summer theme I did a Future. My other one who actually came in my head before Drake, but after Wayne, I gotta have C Breezy. If it's summer, Chris Brown,
yeah,
like
Chris
all
Brown has hits.
all his hits and all of that. And then I wanted to make sure I had one woman on it, and I was just like, I don't know who I could go woman, so I was just like, I'll just throw in Grande, just call it a day. But she doesn't really have, like, the summer thing. I didn't want to go Cardi, and I didn't want to go Nicki.
I'm surprised you didn't go Nicki.
Well, I didn't want to have Young
It's
Money.
only Young Money.
It's
only Young Money.
I almost had. I was just like, oh, that's just showing my allegiances. But
Yeah.
no, but I do love.
You could have been Beyonce.
I could have. I wanted to kind of go Demi too, especially Sorry
Ooh.
Not Sorry Demi, because that's when she was going. But
Yeah.
I was just.
Cool for the
But
summer.
I just want to see Breezy because we're talking about some hits and features. Like, you play Loyal. I guess.
Yeah.
And
Look at me now. Like,
he is still one of the few artists that when he releases albums, it's at least 20 to 30 songs.
mhm.
Yeah.
Like, it's large discography.
I should have did. Shout out to Justin. Should have picked Gucci Man. Because then I could have had.
Hey,
I could have had
man.
Wasted. Wasted was
Wasted.
That was a generational
Man,
one.
nah, man, you gotta have that OJ the Juice Man.
That was a good one too. Like,
That's when I tell you that I was on Dat Piff and on LimeWire for Bricks.
oh,
I don't know
Bricks.
how many all-white bricks, off-white bricks like that. Man,
I remember when him and Wayne had Weeby Sebi Nabi, and I was like,
we said
what?
mine was a classic.
I was like, what is
Constant classic.
happening here? But no, I've I almost, man, I
It's
did.
going to a goblin.
I almost thought about putting Kanye because, I mean,
He has summer hits.
oh no, his
Yes.
music is just it's Like, I was thinking about Graduation, like, playing, like, oh,
Yeah.
man. Like, I love that song, Graduation with Chris Martin. Obviously, All Falls Down is probably one of my top 3, like, favorite rap songs ever. Because how he used to, Kanye was really that guy.
Or
Yeah.
even, actually, Timbaland.
Timbaland
He- that's-
producing too.
If you look at producing,
Oh my god!
like,
that's a
and
good
the
one.
hits, like, he's legendary.
That's a good one.
I mean, for producing, I'll just take Dr. Dre.
Oh, for sure.
Just give me Dr. Dre.
Since
The
you
amount of-
take Timberland, you would take Dr. I'll take different, though. I'll take Jermaine.
Dupree?
Jermaine
Yeah.
Dupri.
Okay.
Because he was there producing, got some, like, get Mariah Carey in there, like, all those people,
Mhm.
like, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Get some Bow Wow back in the day and all that, but no.
I mean, I'm going like 6 different labels. That's the
I
only
know.
reason I'm getting Let me get 6
trying to-
different labels. I'm out here.
Trying to diversify, but
Mm-hmm.
no, this was fun. This was fun. Any other things you want to talk about music, Charles?
No, I think we got it.
Cedric?
Yeah.
This is super fun, especially talking about music and different playlists and all that. With that being said, thank you everyone for listening to the L7C podcast. I'll put a poll on this one. What are some of your favorite music that you listen to during the summer as we approach summer season? What would you recommend? Are there any artists that we did not name and you felt like we left out? Please let us know. And with that being said, L7C podcast signing out. Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.